Hey guys, Jexie here. Welcome back to another video. So in this video, we are going to react to Tom MacDonald's music video called Angels. I've seen a lot of people on YouTube reacting to his videos and even being able to put ads on them. So I'm assuming that he allows it. So otherwise there'd be a lot of music I'd review, but I'm really excited to review this. I've only seen it once. I added it onto the recovery music playlist I have on my channel because it's so good. But yeah, let's watch it together and talk about it.
It's not the liquor I'm addicted to, it's feeling brave.
Just that first line alone, right? It's not the liquor I'm addicted to, it's feeling brave. That got me, like when I heard this yesterday for the first time. I know it's older, but the idea that it's not necessarily the substance we're addicted to, it's how it makes us feel about ourselves. I think so many people can relate to that, and I was excited about the song from that first line.
The feeling of not feeling the pain. I've been on and off the bottle, I put oxys out my nostrils, believe me, you do anything to breathe before you suffocate. I'm
gonna have to skip back a few, because there's so much he says here, right? That we use to numb the pain, right? Again, so much, whether it's emotional pain, physical pain, so much of it's used to numb the pain. And yeah, he talks about what my drug of choice was, which is blowing oxys up my nose. And so automatically you feel like you can relate to what he's saying and that it's real, because this is the kind of stuff you hear other people share about, not just what somebody thinks addiction is like. Let me go back a couple seconds.
Breathe before you suffocate. I couldn't stop it. Staying clean was not an option. I was trying to be myself, but being me was such a problem. I just wanted to be Thomas, but Thomas was at the bottom of a hole he dug and getting comfortable inside a coffin.
Yeah, so much of the imagery that he has, right? He's talking about how, he was at the bottom of a hole, right? And we hear this so often in recovery, that our bottom is where we stop digging, that we're at the bottom of a hole, right? This is imagery that anybody in recovery, anybody going through addiction can really understand and empathize with. And, I literally want to stop at every line and be yes, I get this. But that idea with not knowing who we are, I think a lot of us can relate to that, especially in active addiction. We lose all sense of self. And, we have no idea who we are. We're just trying to fit in. We're trying to numb the pain. And I think this sets up for the rest of the song. So let me back it up a little bit again.
The bottom of a hole he dug and getting comfortable inside a coffin. He locked it and swallowed the key. Caught up, forgot all his dreams. Robbed at a common, became embalmed in a toxic routine. Beer was the escape, but I got stuck escaping. Whiskey was the blanket in the coldest basement.
So got stuck escaping, right? A lot of us use substances as a means of escape, right? To escape what we were feeling and everything that was going on, and we get caught up in this cycle. This is one of those songs where you listen to and you can 100% feel this connection to it, because it's exactly how I would describe addiction, when he mentions whiskey being a blanket, right? We use drugs, alcohol, whatever it may be, to comfort us, right? I don't know anybody who was in active addiction who didn't feel like drugs were the answer for a long time.
Whiskey was the blanket in the coldest basement. Way before the fame, I was wasted, freezing, doing anything I could to keep the flame lit. To anyone going through the same, heaven's got enough angels, you need to stay here. And
I love how when he says for anyone going through the same stuff, right? Because the fact is that he's singing, this song is for him, right? He's singing about his own experience, but he knows that we can relate, right? Any of us whether you're in active addiction or whether you're in recovery, we can relate to that, right? We know what that feels like. And there's something about this song. There's a few people who have done songs that I wish I could react to all of them, but it's not usually allowed, so we'll see if this one works. But the idea of just really getting to the core of what addiction feels like and inspiring hope, and the fact that he says that heaven has enough angels, we need you here.
Heaven's got enough angels, you need to stay here.
And I can't make you stay, but sometimes going ain't a choice. And
And every choice you make is one that you didn't avoid. Crash the whip and ditch the car, burn a bridge, follow the stars. You'll find monsters in the dark, but nothing's worth it till it's hard. Sometimes it's hard to see things clear through your tears, but anywhere is way better than here. Fight your fear.
What a chorus. There's another song that he does that if you guys like this, I'm going to react to. Just the idea, any place is better than here. We get to a point where, like, it doesn't matter. We're doing crazy stuff. We get to a point where we're doing this crazy stuff and we're crashing our cars and whatever. And we don't know how to get better, right? But we know that anything is better than where we're at.
It's not the liquor I'm addicted to, it's feeling tough. When you get bullied half your life, you feel weak, like you just ain't enough. Then you have a couple drinks and you catch a buzz and finally have the courage to defend yourself and throw a punch.
I hear that so often, right, from people that, like, one of the reasons they drank in the first place when they were younger was because they didn't feel comfortable in their own skin, and then they drink and they feel like they're tough, they can take on the world, right? Like, nothing can get in their way. And gosh, like, you think about where we started, right? Those of us who are in recovery, like, where our addiction started. Like, I used long before I was addicted, right? And it was to feel a part of, to fit in and be part of the crowd or whatever it is, right? Whether it's low self-esteem or just wanting to be a part of. And then, we kind of get stuck in this, like, as he said, liquor makes him feel brave. At the beginning it was, I forgot what he said, it made him feel like, but that's the thing is that it changes us, makes us feel like it's helping.
You have the courage to defend yourself and throw a punch, and that adrenaline goes straight into your brain and blood. Addicted to the confidence, it's practically the greatest drug. Chasing dragons every night in all the latest clubs. What used to be your favorite thing somehow became a dangerous crutch.
What used to be your favorite thing somehow became a dangerous crutch. And, I share a lot that, I used opiates for a long time because it made me feel like I was a super mom, right? Like I had the best, like my house is the cleanest of anybody's. I went to every play date and I did this with the kids and I baked and I did this and I did that, right? Like, and I felt like it made me a super mom until it didn't. And I was stuck and I had to use, otherwise I was sick and I couldn't do anything and I was miserable and I was nodding out and it no longer did that. It just, I felt like, I don't know, like, that feeling? I feel like he's able to take those feelings that are so hard for me sometimes to put into words, and he's so eloquent.
It was what it was, and that's the thing, it can happen to like any of us. I had great parents, tight friends, strong morals, nice threads, good school, good looking, good grades, time spent.
Me too. Right? Me too. I had great parents. I was involved in sports in school. I got decent grades. I wasn't terrible looking. I wasn't overweight. I had everything in the normal middle class household. Like, I was not a person that you would think that would be susceptible to this. And the fact is addiction can happen to anybody.
Being normal only lasted for a while. One bad choice sparked a downward spiral. I've spent half my life trying to climb out of that hole. Heaven's God, angels, we need you at home.
That idea that, like, it's once we're down there, like, it takes time to climb back up. And even before you get into recovery, right, like, you start trying to climb out on your own. And sometimes, like, some people are successful. Some people are able to, like, put it down and get out of the hole and build their lives back up and be good, right? And then there's other people who spend so long trying to climb out that hole before they're successful. And usually it takes other people trying to help you up and being willing to accept the help where you're actually able to get out of that hole.
And I can't make you stay, but sometimes going ain't a choice. And every choice you make is one that you didn't avoid. Crash the whip and ditch the car, burn a bridge, follow the stars. You'll find monsters in the dark, but nothing's worth it till it's hard. Sometimes it's hard to see things clear through your tears, but anywhere is way better than here. Fight your fear.
It's such a simple song, right? And the chorus is so simple. Just the idea, like, it almost, like, I love the way the music, it's not, the chorus is more hopeful sounding, right? Like the chorus is a little bit harder. And then, I mean, the verses are a little bit harder, and where they hit as being something more important, something that you have to think about more, right? And then the chorus is like much higher in pitch. It's a much free flowing, singing about like, you're saying crush your whip, right? Like you're not saying like, hey, everything's wonderful, right? The melody doesn't necessarily match the words, right? But when you hear about it, it's the hope, right? When you hear that singing, that like, it makes you feel hopeful that even if times are hard, things can change. And I love the way he does it with his music, right? Like he's so talented, so talented. The way that he can take a feeling and put it into words in a way that a lot of people would never be able to, and then mix it with this chorus that makes you feel the hope, right? You're feeling hope while he's telling you this hard stuff. He's talking about people dying in the chorus, right? He's saying he doesn't want you to die. That's a hard thing to hear, right? But he says in this lighthearted way that gives you hope that you don't have to be that person. It's a really beautiful mix.
It ain't the liquor we're addicted to, it's everything else. The happiness we had, but we forget how it felt. We've been drinking with the devil cause we're going through hell. Pray to God for a little bit of help.
I mean, again, I know I keep saying this, but like how else... I've never heard it, right? Like we heard it said better than that. Like he just describes it, like you listen to it and you're like, yes, that's how it felt.
Man, I've been there, I did those things, I drank those drinks, I took those pills, I puked in sinks. And the truth ain't pretty, listen up, this is a tough one. You get saved by your angels or become one.
Oh, addiction is not pretty, right? It's not. And we see it whether we go through it ourselves or we watch someone we love go through it. It's not pretty. It does lead to things like throwing up in sinks, right? It's an awful mess, and he's right. You either become an angel, you either let people help you or you become an angel, right? In other words, you either you let people help you get clean or you die. And you guys know, those of you who've been part of my channel for a while know that like I've buried a lot of people over the last year. We've lost a lot of people who were in recovery, some who were in recovery for a while and just couldn't handle the quarantine and they didn't make it. Addiction kills a lot of people, but it doesn't have to be you, right? Like it doesn't have to be one of us. We can do it, but we have to accept the help.
Crash the whip and ditch the car, burn a bridge, follow the stars. You'll find monsters in the dark, but nothing's worth it till it's hard. Sometimes it's hard to see things clear through your tears.
I love that line. Like sometimes it's hard to see things clear through your tears, because it's true, right? Like sometimes when we're at our worst and we're feeling down and we're upset and we're depressed, like it's hard to see things clearly, but the fact is that things do get better, right? Like you can if you stick with recovery, like things do get better.
But anywhere is way better than here. Fight your fears.
So I'm going to leave that on the screen. If you have not listened to Tom MacDonald's stuff, you have to. You are absolutely missing out. He's been around for a little while now, and he's fully independent, right? Like he doesn't have a label. He does all his own stuff. The Nova Rockefeller that you saw that's I think his girlfriend or his wife, whatever. And the two of them are like a team. She also has a YouTube channel where she does music, and the next video I'm gonna react to has the two of them together, also, and another guy whose name I don't remember. But Tom MacDonald is going to be, if not already, one of the hottest things out there in regards to music. Some songs that I would recommend that have nothing to do with recovery. His newest one out, Canceled. He has one that's No Lives Matter, Fake Woke, Coronavirus. I mean, every one of his songs has like this really deep message. And I'm so grateful that he's able to do that with his songs with recovery, addiction recovery related material, because the fact is that he does have that experience, and he uses his songs to convey such important messages, and to see him do it with recovery and addiction related stuff is great. So let me know what you think. Did you like me reacting to this? I'm so excited that it seems like people are allowed to react to his music, because so often it doesn't seem like YouTube allows it. And maybe that's because he doesn't have a label. So hopefully hopefully this doesn't cause a problem. Again, if you haven't seen his stuff, listen to his music, like you really should. It's really good. Even if you don't like rap, which is what he does, he has a good message. So yeah, I hope you guys like this. Leave a comment, let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye everyone.